This is lesson 2 of modeling Winter Place. We finished outlining the exterior perimeter of this space. You can tell this is one of the other critical reasons to layer your work in SketchUp is you want to be able to examine, inspect this surface and make sure that it's a set of continuous lines, right? And the only way to really clearly see that is to turn off the AutoCAD underlay. There's a couple things that are unique about this and not unusual about old buildings in Boston is that they have irregular geometry for their profiles. So you know there's something of this massive island coming in, some massive segment of wall around this side of the space, and what apparently is a storefront with windows. So if you anticipate having to push openings into any of these walls, like this exterior wall, you'll have to take the outline of these walls and offset them. Normally, let's go ahead and do that. Let me turn off the CAD underlay. Select a series of walls of edges that I anticipate are going to form walls at the front of the space in which we'll need openings. If you don't, you can simply do it all as a massive extrusion. But let's say I just chose all those edges. Take the offset tool. I don't remember what the thickness was, but I'm going to guess that it was about 8 inches. So I'm going to select that and type the number 8 into my box there. So now we have a series of parallel edges, right? We don't have intact geometry yet. We don't have an extrudable surface because we need to complete that drawing. So now what I'm going to do is draw around the inside of perimeter, and we'll have to start somewhere here. Intersection, I think, right? And now we're going to trace the irregular stuff internal to this space. I'm going to model the massive island-like structure here. I'm just tracing around the inside face, right? We first did outside face. I don't know what all this stuff is, but it's geometry you'll deal with when you're laying out the space. I'm hoping to keep these videos about 7 minutes each. That may or may not work out. Also notice that every now and then we get that graphic feedback that you're along a red or green axis, but the drawing is not really square to the axes at all. It's a very irregular outline, as is a lot of stuff in real life. In fact, it is the exception that you get something that works out perfectly. We would love for that to be the case, but you often get handed stuff that's just not regular, predictable. At this point, I should have drawn enough geometry that my profile, my inside profile, intersects the rest of the model, the rest of my lines. So I'm going to turn off the CAD underlay. I'm going to hide the visibility of the CAD file and just resolve these corners, you know, where there might be overlap. Just take the erase tool. You have to get every little outlying. It's only two corners we have to deal with. Remember, we offset these walls, and then we so that effectively duplicated these lines, which form that perimeter. I think we're in pretty good shape now. So if we've done this correctly, we should be able to select the inside of this object and delete it. And then we have, notice how easy it is to see the work with the CAD underlay turned off, and we should be able to now extrude the result. I saw an 11.6 ceiling, let's say 12 feet or whatever. You can push all this to a height of 12 feet. Enter. Now, critical to all this, triple click, group it. You always want to make a group and then push it to the layer on which it belongs. These are exterior walls. I'm going to stop here and then we'll deal with openings if you want to do so.